right, we're gonna go over more hip hinge. Kind of just go off of what Sean was explaining and demonstrating. Perfect. So again, the dowel is one of the things I use primarily too, as far as kind of going over the movement patterns for a hip hinge. But let's say the patient comes in, they can't even do that yet because it's just, oh, I feel all this back pain, can't really do it just yet. Or it's just the movement is very involved. So what I would do for that patient is I will take a different approach at that point. So many ways to go about this. The first one is instead of standing and having all that load on the lower back, I can also still work on the hip hinge, but from the knees, okay? So what I can do for the patient as well is also use a band for feedback and assistance. And then I'll have them in a tall kneeling position. Now I may have them holding onto a pole in front of them just to keep them more balanced. But what I'll do is get a foam pad here. Again, about the same placement as Sean had it right at the hip. Okay. And what we can do is make sure we have that tension. So that way we're kind of passively being pulled back into the hip hinge already. Okay. And typically, again, kneeling position, a little more pain or a little less pain as far as versus standing. So we're here, have some tension in the bands. Okay. We have everything from the top, nice and erect, as if we had that pole for the 3 points. The back of the head, mid-spine, and the butt. And then from that tension, you're gonna allow it to start to pull you back first, okay? And again, we're getting into that hip hinge, but again, just in a tall kneeling position. And then again, they're gonna learn how to utilize the muscles in the back to extend, and then our glutes to also get the extension in the hip, okay? So that's one way we can start to teach them the hip hinge if standing and bending over is just too much of a load. What we can also do is we can also, I don't have the other band, but take a seat, okay? And again, we take a little less load off the back. We can just be in a seated position. And I can have them holding a band here just to keep them nice and erect. I'll show you that in another video. But they can just simply go ahead, follow those cues that you give them, nice and erect, keeping the shoulder blades retracted, just kind of closing that gap here from the hip, so the leg and the upper body, coming closer together and coming here. So again, starting to load back just a little bit, but not quite as much as we're standing. So those are two other ways I can kind of start to teach these movement patterns and get the patient accustomed to getting that hip hinge until potentially they're ready to go ahead and stand up.